My name is Shelby Jehle, and this is Global Issues SAG 450. And the article that I am going to be discussing is the EU in 2025, Balancing Global Ambitions and Domestic Pressures. And it's on the website called Center for Global Development. This was written January 8th, 2025 by Anita Capelli, Michaela Gravis, and Laura Granito. The article discusses Europe's concerns with the new Trump administration here in the United States and the ramifications that it could have over there, especially in the areas like Ukraine where the war is still going on. The United States is the largest contributor of different forms of aid for the Ukraine war as of 2024 and 2025 when it comes to financial, humanitarian, and military aid. President Trump was quoted saying, "Pay your own way," meaning that he is no longer willing to help as much and fund as much over in the EU, especially with the war. And basically, Europe is seeing that they are going to have to start paying more financially into this war versus the United States helping them as much as we were. The authors further discuss how the EU now needs to shift towards a geopolitical approach that emphasizes defense since the war in the Ukraine and Gaza continue to dominate the conversation. So the EU is still facing other concerns, not just the war, but they also have migration that has been highlighted as an issue within the Mediterranean, and the EU is also facing economic stagnant growth. The potential trade war with the U.S. will only make this worse. And the EU also has a chance to reshape their strategic direction through the multi-annual financial framework. So how does this relate to us here in the United States? So we are going through the same thing. It's our president. This is something that is going to affect us financially as well, depending on how the administration works. We face similar issues due to the choices that are going to be made. We need to really look at other countries, see their political changes and developments, and see what works, what policies do and do not work, and try to implement them as well. And overall, the EU has a chance to redefine themselves in the global stage. As for the U.S. here stateside, things that we can do to, call to action to help is, we forget that who we vote for president is not just going to affect us here in the United States, but it also affects other countries around the world. And, we all work together. So we, especially the younger groups, people who chose not to vote, we really need to think about that and vote correctly for our president, things that we think will actually help the world, not just ourselves here in the United States. And that can really make a difference.